like to talk a little bit about the nature of feelings. This could be a subject of a lot of debate, or it could be very, very simple. It really depends on your point of view. As with everything, it's so beautiful. So, what is the nature of feelings? Underneath all the feelings seem very different, a whole spectrum. And a spectrum is a good way to use to symbolically explain the nature of feelings, because a spectrum, there is a distinct red and a distinct blue, but then there are places where red and blue meet and you wind up with a tertiary color, a color that comes from the other two, purple in this case. You wind up with a mix of a new color. And feelings are very similar to that. Feelings are probably the most personal thing we have, apparently. If you were going to ask someone the most intimate, personal thing that we experience, feelings would pretty much be the definition of that. As a matter of fact, feelings are what intimacy arises from, because intimacy is a feeling. And in this complex apparent spectrum of feelings, if we look at them, they actually are very simple. It's not as complex as we think. We feel hope, we feel fear, we feel jealousy, we feel love, we feel greed, we feel giving. These opposites, we jump back and forth between them. But where they come together is just in three things. Three simple elements are running the whole nature of feelings. But what are these three? I like it, I don't like it, I don't care. This is the beginning of attachment, aversion, and indifference. Attachment is when we need more, want more, or when something is leaving, we won't let it go. Aversion is where anger comes from, and any sense of fighting or needing to struggle to hold on to something that was not ours always. This is a very complex subject because everything in our system, our whole society, focuses on what we own, what you are. And when feelings get extremely intense, the sense of clarity becomes obscured, and the feeling almost has its own force, its own inertia, and unclarity arises then. The more we tell ourselves stories around the feeling, the more we feed the feeling, the further we get from the essential point that the feeling is just coming from one of three things. I like it, I don't like it, I don't care. And there's something deeper than this. The question is, who doesn't like it? Who wants it? Who doesn't care? We say I. We have a very defined idea of who we think we are. But if you examine that, it's actually a very fluid thing. The self is not solid. The self actually cannot be found. There is no place that you can actually say, this is mine. This is who I am. Because that's always changing, and it isn't always who you were. It's who you've become, and you are still becoming. And then the big question, the big uncertainty is, what are we becoming? Religion, the whole spectrum of religion arises to give us answers to what we think we are becoming. But the uncertainty remains. And allowing for that uncertainty and the clarity within the uncertainty, the clarity of the process What is driving this process? I like it. I don't like it. I don't care. The more we identify with those things and solidify those, the harder it is for us to see the fluidity of the situation. What is underneath it is this sense of uncertainty and crystal clear awareness. We are pure awareness, non-self oriented awareness. We costume it with self, but underneath it is just pure, shining, selfless awareness. Now the Buddhists call that Buddha nature. I don't really feel there's any, you could call it God, you could call it Tao. We could give it a million names, but you know what? Those names, they don't really matter. What matters is you experiencing it. If everybody experienced it for themselves, that would clarify the world, and only us experiencing it for ourselves. No one can give it to us. This is not an idea. I'm saying this because this is what I've experienced, and not just me, every mystic throughout time and space. Remember, in the complexity of our feelings, in the labyrinth of thoughts and emotions, you can ground yourself in the understanding that all the fireworks of our feelings are just coming from one point. I like it, I don't like it, I don't really care. I want to find something else I like. Attachment, aversion, indifference. I encourage you to cultivate your awareness each moment and allow for the fluidity of feeling and look to what's underneath.